Hang on, wait a second, I got a notification that got some extra people joining. Here we go. There we go. That's good. Mel, do you see anyone else on your side for the in the waiting room?
I am not logged in as a host, so but I can log in on my other computer and I can monitor it for you.
Thank you. I think we got it, but if you're able to, that would be great, just in case. Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening for our March 9th general PTA meeting. We are going to kick it off this evening. We've got our normal agenda. We'll step through. We'll start with our principals report and move on through with everyone and shoot to be done by 8 at the latest. So it looks like Mr. Price maybe dropped and is joining again. So we'll give him 1 second. Mr. Price, are you back in now? Possibly.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. It's a little choppy, but
Is that on your end, Brian?
I'm not sure. It sounds a little. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, it's choppy here too. It's just Mr. Price.
Here.
I am successfully an admin, so I can let people in.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Price is frozen.
Is that a better connection?
That's so far a little bit better. We'll give it.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to my phone.
All right, Mr. Price is coming back in.
All right.
All right, Mr. Price is coming in.
All right.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
I think you got to mute your laptop.
All right. I think
There
that's
you go.
better. Sorry, it's you know, broadcasting from down under. I'm sorry about that, you guys.
That's okay.
All right, are we doing the principals report?
Yep, we're gonna kick it off with you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here, and thank you always, you know, the executive board, Brian, for all the hard work putting in. I want to thank the PTA. We've got the chair pockets, which are amazing. I've been around. I took a picture. I've taken a couple more pictures today. Melanie, I don't know if you received them. But they're
Check my inbox.
Yeah, check your inbox. I took a picture the other day of Mrs. Lorenz's class and whose class. I was in another class today and they had them set up and they look real spiffy, nice and clean. And again, for those that don't know, it's sort of like a backpack that slips onto the back of the kids' chairs. and has pockets so they can put in, their math workbooks, their writing journals, all their materials. It's easily accessible. Nice to organize their materials back there. And particularly if we're working at tables without, desks where they can store it, it's a solution to keeping things organized. And it just creates a more efficiency within the classroom. They're rather expensive. And so it was a really generous purchase of the PTA. We were able to outfit all of kindergarten, all of first grade, second grade, and third grade with additional. So we have spares. So we have some backups for if there's any rips or tears, or we have an additional section that needs to go in, or we need to put them into our resource room. So huge success, and the classrooms look great and are functioning great. We're excited. We have an author visit this Friday. I'm sure we'll talk about that with Ways and Means, but again, generous underwriting of the PTA, and we're able to bring these literacy initiatives, Read Across America. And so we're really lucky. We have some authors coming in, some, in fact, local authors. So, really connecting kids to their communities with writers in their communities and the work they do. So we're excited about that. We want to thank the Diversity Committee for all the work they put into Black Lives Matters Week, which was a real success within the Black History Month. It was a lot of great work, a lot of effort was put into it, and we were able to accomplish a lot. So we just want to thank everyone that contributed. It was really ambitious, and we'll continue to improve on that work. We'll continue to look forward to see what we've learned, how we can grow. Looking forward to Asian American Pacific Islander Month, also looking toward Pride Month in the month of June. So a lot of great work to be done. We're looking at a Juneteenth celebration. Again, not to step on the Diversity Committee's presentation that I'm sure will follow. We're excited. We're excited for spring. We're excited for warm weather, albeit the weather today certainly was not speaking of spring. It was, harking back to winter there. But that is March, right? March is a tough month, and but we are looking forward to it. We're actually we're going to be preparing gardens right next to the school. There was a tree that was damaged a few years back in an ice storm. But that tree right up the hill from the basketball court was removed this week. And in its place is going to be an outdoor learning center that we're going to be putting in. It was a grant that we were able to get through in collaboration with the YMCA, West Essex YMCA. So we'll be adding some additional raised beds there. We'll be adding some picnic tables where the kids can come out to work. There will be a learning station, kind of like a place where blackboards can be posted, or we can project, computer projection, monitoring up there. But we want to make it a space where kids can come out. We can do science projects, gardening projects, and utilize as an outdoor center. So that's beginning. That work is getting done. We're preparing the ground. We'll be taking out those benches that were around that tree, leveling that area, and then putting in the infrastructure for the outdoor garden. So we're hoping to have that up by planting season, by Mother's Day in mid-April. So we're looking forward to that. Today in the Wednesday folder, some of you received, there was a survey that's being conducted as well. And that is part of the grant. We're looking to do some surveys to see if we can get more families walking to school or biking to school. We've just got to figure out the solutions for how that works. Our community, our footprint for St. Cloud is rather large, right? We go all the way up the hill, Northfield, out towards St. Barnabas on Old Hills, all the way down the hill to almost Main Street on Northfield, and then of course, Rock Spring and Walker Road area. So what we'll be doing is we'll be doing a survey of the neighborhood, looking at accessibility, walking paths, and then seeing what we need to do in collaboration with the township to make for more accessibility for people who want to walk to school and forego driving and taking the bus if that's possible. But that's going to be a bit of a process, but it'll begin this week. So if you got the survey, please fill it out. And the more information we have, the better, we can begin to plan and think about what things we need to address to make that happen. So looking forward to the spring. We'll be having parent conferences coming up. Teachers will be reaching out for that, and they'll be arranging for parent conferences through that. That'll be a combination of both in person and or Zoom, depending on what's most convenient for each family. And I think that is where I'll wrap up right now. All right. Just thank you for all the work you're doing. Fifth grade committee, awesome job. I mean, I heard about the popcorn fundraiser, and that was just gangbusters. So really, thank you for all that work, and congratulations on success. And looking forward to a great fifth grade spring. So I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Crane.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Price. Any questions for Mr. Price before we move on with our remaining?
There was one in the chat.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Crystal.
No, same thing. I appreciate you looking out for me. Mr. Price, I was just wondering, is there a committee or a team, or do you need a team to help, I guess, with discussing the parking, right? Because I get the bike trails and the walking, but for some people, at least for the next year or two, I have a kindergartner, probably won't be doing that. So I'm just wondering, is there something that we can do in advance of the apartment complex and the daycare opening up next year where we can try to get in front of it? So just wondering if there's a committee or if you need help to look into that further.
I do need help looking into that further, and I'd love your help with that. We've got to get our head around how that's going to affect. We were speaking about that this morning as I was coming in, because it's finishing up quickly. I don't know when those buildings are going to be occupied. I know they have a daycare center going in right there on the corner. What is the impact on us? That's a really good question, and I would love your help. So if you could reach out to me, and we could coordinate some communications with the township and with the police in terms of traffic flow.
Yep.
That needs to be looked at.
Yep, no, that's cool. And I also know the owner of the daycare in the apartment building. We used to do his daycare in Forum Park, so okay. I'll reach out to them as well.
Yeah, great. No, that'll be a real help.
Great. Thanks for that, Chris.
Mr. Price, we also got another question in the chat. Are there plans for a virtual learning option after spring break like there was after winter break?
To my knowledge, no, there is not.
Joy, yeah.
So Mr. Price, since this week is the first week of that it's mask optional, do you have any kind of sense? I mean, obviously, we got a COVID notice today. I think we got 2 last week. Is there a sense of like how contact tracing is changing, kind of what's happening in the classrooms, to be able to use the other preventions since the masks aren't necessarily required?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and we're maintaining all of our current protocols. So nothing has changed other than the mask optional. Okay. So the teachers are conducting everything as they have. Okay. And in terms of contact tracing, same thing there. Nurse Brown would be conducting her contact tracing in the same manner she did before. So we've been given no other direction other than students do, and faculty do have the option not to wear the mask. It's been a successful week. I would say it's almost a 50-50 split in the school, maybe a little bit more, maybe 55-60% of those who are maintaining mask wearing. But so that's my kind of that's been my observation. The kids have been really cool about it. It's been a smooth transition. Teachers, I've been checking in, making sure everyone is, there's been no chatter or anything. I think there were some concerns about sort of comparisons between those who had it and did it. That does not seem to have been an issue this week. So, so far, so good. And everything remains the same for the exception of the option.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
Great. Thanks, Joy. Thanks, Mr. Price. All right, let's continue on. So President's report, like Mr. Price mentioned, we got the chair pockets. So thank you for everyone for helping and Mel for placing that order and making that happen. Thanks to Sarah for refilling our teacher appreciation year snack tower. So that has been refilled and continues to be monitored. So thank you for that. We still have some items, requests on hold, the recess equipment and staplers. I wanted to mention an opportunity around that was mentioned to us from the West Orange Council of PTAs. Redwood Elementary is looking to host a discussion for parents, kind of like a lecture in and around stress and anxiety with the times and with kids. I think the initial thought was that we would be supportive of joining that. It looked like it'll be a shared type of thing. They reached out to all the different schools in the district to see if they were interested in sharing the cost. I think it was a couple $1,000 split among those schools and that wanted to participate. But I think our initial thought was that parents would find that useful. And so I'm going to follow up with them to find out. We had a couple questions about, number of seats, when it would happen, how many other schools were interested, those kinds of things. But we will communicate that more details as we kind of get that finalized in the coming weeks or month. Executive board elections are on the horizon. So we have a handful of open positions. I will be on the way out as it's a one-year term for president. Vice president is currently vacant. So both of those positions will be needed for starting in July. All these would be starting in July. Secretary, diversity council chair, membership, cultural arts, fifth grade committee, and box top. So we've got quite a few open positions on the horizon for those of you that are interested in getting more involved in the PTA. We also have a couple of positions that we would like to have folks join for to support Mel on communications and Amy with ways and means. Just so both Mel and Amy have been doing and working in the PTA for a long time, and we'd like to have someone kind of co-chair it with them so that when their tour of duty is done, that it's not as harsh of a transition as they move on. So also those options that I want to throw out, but we'll be sending around a Google, Google form, poll or form, I think is the right word for it, where you can put your name in against any of the positions that you're interested in signing up for. So that'll be coming in the very near future. And when we issue that, there will be a little bit more detail about each of the positions, kind of what the anticipated, what the duties involve and what the time commitment is roughly. And of course, if there's any questions on any of the positions, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk through it and you can ask any questions. So that's a big ticket item on the horizon. And then we have Teacher Appreciation Week on the horizon, starting at the beginning of May. So although we are very much appreciative of our teachers and staff year round, the quote unquote official Teacher Appreciation Week is in May. One possible idea that we had, that Amy had, I give credit to Amy for this, was for class parents, if they wanted to order some new spirit wear, which Deb, I'm sure will highlight in the spirit wear section, and you may have seen in the flyers that were sent home. We have a new spirit wear website and new spirit wear materials to purchase. So that might be a great opportunity to kind of get some of that into the school and so show some appreciation to the teachers. We have a bunch of other things, but I'll leave that to each of the different groups and departments and folks when we get to those. So with that, we'll move on to treasurer's report and secretary report, but I think neither of them are here. I know Bill had a conflict, and I don't think Shweta was able to join this evening. Diversity Council, I think Denise, I saw Denise on. Denise, are you still up? Yeah, you're there. I'll hand it over to you for an update on Diversity Council.
Okay, great. Thanks, Brian. I just wanted to quickly, I just put in the chat as you were talking about Amy's idea about buying spirit wear for the teachers. One gift idea for Teacher Appreciation Week. Would we, and I don't know if you know this answer, maybe it's an Amy question, but would we be able to have access to the teachers' sizes?
So if anybody
Jaguar
is, so if anybody is a class parent, obviously I don't want to give that information out publicly.
Right.
So if you want to email me personally, I'll put my email in the chat for anyone else who's a class parent, and I can kind of give that to you on the side. Because yes, I do have literally everybody's sizes for the Jaguar Jog. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Okay, so hi, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Price, for touching on Black Lives Matter week at school, the recap and highlighting what we have coming up in terms of AAPI, Pride, and Juneteenth. So I'll just quickly go through. We don't have that many updates, but I'll quickly go through this slide. So update from this past month. We're continuing to work with district administration on inclusive curriculum discussions. Dr. Cascone has been gracious enough to, quote unquote, assign Dr. Pollins to the Diversity Council as sort of a representative / liaison between the Diversity Council and the district. It was formerly something that Dr. Cascone did himself. So now we'll be able to work closely with Dr. Tamika Pollins. We had her join us at the last Diversity Council meeting, and she was a pleasure to host. So as Mr. Price said, AAPI week planning is underway. The proposal that the committee submitted to the BOE for approval was approved. So we're excited about that. Our next Diversity Council meeting is March 29th. We meet on the last Tuesday of every month, and everyone is welcome to join. You don't have to be a member per se of the Diversity Council to join us. And just to quickly highlight what Brian was talking about in terms of the positions that are going to be up. The Diversity Council position can be a co-chair position. It currently is. I currently co-host it with, excuse me, fellow third grade mom, Caroline Harris. So that's something to think about. Upcoming items and goals. So again, Pride and Juneteenth weeks. So proposals by the respective planning committees are currently in works for submission to district administration for approval to submit to the BOE for final approval. And then once that approval is received, we work with Mr. Price to see what is feasible in terms of implementation, as obviously we know that there are challenges, during this pandemic year. So we have to factor those in as well. But again, we thank Mr. Price for working with us on these initiatives. The work is, Brian, can you go back to the slide? Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
It seems like it's still sharing. I don't know if anyone else can.
I can see the cultural.
It is, but it
arts.
jumped down to the next slide.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't even
Sorry.
bump the keyboard. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So yes, so work will begin, again, we said this last time, on a diversity council how-to of sorts workshop for interested schools in the district. This was something that is going to be facilitated by the West Orange Council of PTAs. And Community Unity and Diversity Night Alignment. I know that we are going to, Caroline and I are going to be overseeing that on Amy's behalf, since there is a lot going on that needs her attention. So we will be meeting with Amy, excuse me, at the end of this month or early April to discuss next steps. And that's everything for the Diversity Council.
Great. Thank you so much, Denise. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep going. Sarah, I'll hand it over to you for a cultural arts update.
Thanks, Brian. Let's see. As you can see, we have a great lineup of assemblies coming up, starting with this Friday. A few author visits, an illustrator, a science thing for the 5th graders. And Mr. Price, Holly and I were looking to try to schedule one additional thing at some point, probably May or June. Do you think it's possible that we could plan something that could be outdoors, like on the blacktop, that the whole school congregate outdoors?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. We were looking at a couple of things. I had talked to the bringing in the high school step team for performance, and they didn't want to do something virtual, so that could be a possibility. Holly was also talking to some science, like STEM experiment type things, where they could set up tables outside. So we wanted to see if either of those could work.
Yeah, you bet. We can work with you. Yep.
Would we have room for the entire school to come out at once, or should we break it up?
Well, we could, we'll have to look at the space. For the step team, they would, I'm thinking of, we could always go over to Stag, right?
Yeah.
Much larger space. And we could do something maybe around the basketball courts on the back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we could do something like that. So we can think creatively about it. We're lucky to have such a big, beautiful park in back there. So what we could do is, if you want, come on by and we could kind of take a look at layout and then come up with a few options and take some pictures and maybe send it to the STEP team and
that's great. They'll
see if that
what
works.
they need.
You know what I mean?
Okay, great. I'm glad you're up for that. We'll figure out one of those.
Yep.
And the other thing we were working on was a community service cleanup day. We had been looking about doing something specifically with St. Cloud at the cleanup, and we had a conflict with the dates, which I apologize for. But the Conservancy had been working with the town to schedule several different dates around town. And the dates are up there. It's Saturdays from 10 to 1, mid-March through the beginning of May. So Melanie is going to do some communication on that to try to get St. Cloud active in that. I think it'll be great to be part of the larger town event, and we can represent.
And I also think it could be cool if maybe we could rally each grade to pick a date and all go together. So we have like 5th grade all en masse going to volunteer together, really 4th grade, et cetera, et cetera. So that could be a really nice, community building activity for the whole school, but also camaraderie within the grade.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. And that's it. That's it for us, I think.
Alrighty. Lots of stuff on the horizon. Thank you. Okay, we'll keep going. Amy, I'll hand it over to you for Ways and Means update.
Hi. April 6th starts our big kickoff for our biggest event, which is the Jaguar Jog. For Brian and I have, and Melanie and Jen have been busy planning and on conference calls and everything else. So for everybody on this call who's, not aware or has never done it before, but the Jaguar Jog we did in 2019. 2020, obviously we couldn't. And last year we did a virtual dance-a-thon to take the place of that. We are back on Stag Field come April 14th. So to explain the event, we kick off with a pep rally, April 6th at school for the students. They'll be shown a video of how it works. It's pledges every night leading up to the event for about a week. And every night there's prizes awarded to kids or the classes or to the teachers, depending on what the incentive is that night. For example, one of them is the class that has the most donations, or the class that got the most out of state or country donations. And again, there's prizes awarded for each of those every night. The big event is April 14th, which I've been working with Mr. Price on some timing issues, which we think we got squared away this afternoon with lunches and things like that. So I will be sending out the times, but I think we're okay with starting at 11:50 with kindergarten. Each one goes for about 45 minutes. That's, getting them on the field, doing the laps, getting them off the field and things like that. So kindergarten, first grade, then we're going to do second and third together. And then we're going to do fourth and fifth together. Melanie and I have been working on some communication stuff because we're actually going to start communicating everything out Monday with the kickoff of 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, a week out, and then you'll be seeing stuff pretty much every day because we'll show the initiatives, the prizes, where we're at, donations and things like that. Each child was asked their t-shirt size, and each child will get a t-shirt regardless if they've raised funds or not, and run the laps on April 14th. We'll have volunteers doing water stations. We'll have a DJ. The teams, the classes run through balloon arches with team names and things like that. So it's just a really, really fun day for the kids too. And we're actually back live on Stag Field too. So what did I miss for the Jaguar Jog, Brian?
I think that's it. I think we're excited to be back in person. I know I spoke to Mr. Price just briefly on the blacktop this morning, and I think you caught up with him as well.
Yeah, I did this afternoon, so I think we're
getting
good.
The prizes in on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd mentioned to him we wanted to do daily prize drop-offs to students based on donations kind of throughout the week. So we'll kind of do that a little bit differently. Last year it was kind of prizes at the end, and they were delivered to the classrooms and distributed. So this year we'll be kind of going back to what was done previously or pre-COVID, trying to give out prizes kind of throughout the week or every day as people earn or receive different donations and make their way into different categories for prizes. So I think that'll be really exciting. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and someone just put in the chat, "Are parents allowed?" And Becky so nicely put, yes. It's an awesome day. Parents come out, we have pom-poms, we have noisemakers. And that's why I said I'll put the class schedule up as soon as I fine tune it after talking with Mr. Price today. But we encourage families to be out there cheering on all the kids. It was awesome when we did it before, and it's fun to see, and it was loud, and the kids had fun. Different laps have different themes. They dance one lap, they walk one lap, they skip. I mean, it's different fun themes too. So it's not just running. So it's fun. We'll have music going. So yes, we definitely encourage the families to go. And like I said, we'll fine tune the timing for it.
And I will chime in that we got a comment in the chat. Has the volunteer sign up been released yet? Not yet, but it's coming.
So
everybody please sign up.
Yeah, so we did the volunteer list, and after talking with Mr. Price today, I had to kind of revamp that a little bit. because of the timing of the classes and the schedules. So we'll do that out Monday for everybody to volunteer. So you can volunteer for water station setup, cleanup. Obviously, if you want to do water stations during your kids' time, that's fine. Or of another time and cheer on your kid during that time, that's even better.
Right,
And
we'll
then
need
what
people to
also-
mark off the laps on the back of the shirts.
Also need help actually April 7th, because those are when the t-shirts will come in. We have to sort by class and with the sizes that I was provided for every student. So we'll need volunteers that night too. So that is Jaguar Jog. Do we have any other questions? Because I know it's really new for some people, but for like 4th and 5th graders, I feel like they did that once. So any other questions? Okay. The next thing we had is the diversity event, which we had scheduled for May 6th. So Denise, I don't know if you talked to Kara, but and is Natalie on here? We talked about maybe moving that, and if possible, moving it to May 13th to kind of go with the week that they had planned in May. But we can kind of talk off.
Yeah, I'm here, Amy. So yeah, I mean, I think we were trying to come up with like a big finale for AAPI week, but then you had we had diversity night scheduled the week before, so we didn't want to do like 2 big events back to back on Friday nights. So yeah, I mean, we can talk offline about that. I mean, we're totally willing to work together and maybe merge that together into like one event and, you know, incorporate some AAPI into the diversity night. So we can figure that out.
Yeah. Okay. So we can, we have been
My 2
emailing
cents,
offline,
I think that sounds great. Combining the two. Let's move it. Let's have a big shebang celebrating everything that we've done.
So then we'll move probably that and we can talk about that offline and figure that out for diversity. So more details to come on that.
Yeah, if you could just keep me in the loop with your planning.
Oh, yeah,
Amy,
yeah.
Just,
yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. With that email chain, so that we'll have in May. And then for Fun Fest, again, for parents that may not have experienced this in the past because of this lovely pandemic we have all been living in, we used to have a Fun Fest out on with bouncy houses, carnival games, music, food, ice cream, crafts, face painting, things like that. We are looking to bring that back, and we have that scheduled for June 4th out on Stag Field. That will be in the afternoon. So more details to come on that, but we have it scheduled, permits, and the company to bring the bounce houses are scheduled out for that day. I did write on that career day because I know we talked about it. I know Mr. Price liked it last year, and we did that in place of some things that we had going and people couldn't take their kids to work day. So I don't know if that's something we do want to do again. Whether it's virtually video, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we were, Sarah, was that something you and Holly were discussing? I can't remember who was talking about.
No, I know Holly was talking about it a bit, and it was very successful last year. For those who are new to the school, we had a combination of pre-recorded videos, and then we had a live assembly where we had several parents there
Zoom
via Zoom. Yes, a virtual assembly via Zoom to talk about what they did, and the kids could ask them questions, and it was really fun. So I, for one, would love to do it again, but we do definitely need the help of the parents. We need you guys to raise your hands if you have a job that you think you'd like to share a bit about with the kids. You can do a pre-recorded video, and we can put them, we can make them available for the teachers to show throughout the week, culminating in a virtual assembly. National Kids Day is on April 28th. We tend to do our assemblies on a Friday, so I don't see any reason why we couldn't do it on the 29th.
Day after.
Yeah.
Just a thought, you could use the class parents to see if they can gather names of parents for you guys. Because I know we have like a WhatsApp group, and so maybe we can kind of put the request out there for that and, 40 names. I'm sure other classes have the same thing.
Yeah, and last year what we did is we did a Google form. So maybe if the class parents could send out the Google form, because we had them kind of do, if they wanted to do a live video, live Zoom or a video, and then what their profession was, so we could kind of manage that. So if class parents could put that out there, that would be great. So, all right, then if Mr. Price is cool with another career day, we will do that as well. So that's all I got.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Amy. Deb, I'll hand it over to you for Spiritwear update.
I am happy to say that we have launched officially this week the online store for our third-party vendor for the new Spiritwear. So with a third-party vendor, we are able to order almost kind of on demand, and you have some options. So we have 2 new logos that we're implementing on new product as well. So we've brought over popular things like the tie-dye shirt, but also added fun things like beanie hats and other things like that. I did officially go ahead and order my first t-shirt, which was exciting. The website should be fairly easy to navigate. There's a lot of pull down menus. The only thing that I can say is that it's very important to just say free shipping, as I will be receiving all of the product and then distributing to the school. And that will make it easier than just shipping it, and you don't have to pay for shipping. My email address is on the form and also the email that went out today for the PTA announcements. If anybody has any questions at all, we do still have the existing product, which I do want to mention. So that's still available in Member Hub. We have limited sizes and availability on certain things. So as we start to deplete that stock, we'll add more to the new vendor. The glory of this new vendor too is that as the years go by, we can see what's popular and change things out and even take requests for some items as well. I think that's it.
And they're also a local vendor, so we are supporting local business.
Yes.
Great.
I have a question, Deb. It's super cute, the logo with the Jaguar, like the actual Jaguar, because all the other stuff I've seen is the paw, which is also cute. But so is there a story, like, you know, did somebody design the Jaguar? Was there a contest? You know, I'm just curious.
Unfortunately not. I think that it was just going to be too difficult to have a contest. So that,
it's a very cute Jaguar. So then I'll just say it's a very cute Jaguar. Thanks.
And I think, Deb, on the site you can choose which logo you want, right?
Correct. There's 2 options of logos. So I thought it would be nice for the adults to have an option without the Jaguar if they didn't want to have it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
The deadline, it's not a real deadline, but if you want to get into the first shipment,
right,
you need to make your orders by March 23rd.
Correct. And just to clarify, that'll still be available for order. It's just that we're doing in kind of chunks of orders so that they'll go to press, I'll receive them and distribute, and then we'll start ordering again with the next 2 weeks.
Got it. Okay, great. All righty. Thanks so much, Deb. Mel, I'll hand it over to you. Any updates related to communication?
No major updates. I did receive some feedback that some parents have not been able to make our PTA general meetings, even via Zoom. So what I'm going to try to do is be pretty diligent about getting a recording of the meeting and posting it to our St. Cloud PTA YouTube page. And I'll share that with social media and in communication so people can access it. So if forever you know someone who missed it but wanted to find out what happened, we can easily share that with them. So that will be coming soon. Otherwise, I'm just Amy's sidekick on Jaguar Jog Communications Bonanza.
Yep, it's about to get busy. All right, great. Thanks, Mel. Membership, Thelma had messaged a little bit ago. She had a conflict with another board she's on, has a meeting this evening. But she said no new updates. I think we're still around 216 on our membership, which is great. But we're you can always sign up. So if there's anyone that still wants to join, please do. We'll keep things going. Fifth grade committee, Becky and Natalie, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, so like Mr. Price mentioned at the beginning, our popcorn fundraiser was wildly successful. We raised almost $9,000. So we're all feeling really good about that. And now we are busy planning a total blowout for the fifth graders at the end of the year. So Mr. Price, are you still there? Because I realized I forgot to ask you a really, really important question when we spoke this morning, which is, what do we do if it rains on the 17th? Is there a contingency date?
Good question. Yeah, there would have to be, right? So we'll have to look at that. Yeah, or we'll move it inside. I mean, certainly.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll let's look at that and figure out what we would do. What day we'd move it to. It's a Friday, correct? 17th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, so we'd have to look at then Monday, right? To make that move.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
So I think it was up there last time too that Mama Dags is giving us the pizza, and we've got Urban Cone coming. They're bringing their ice cream truck, and there are a ton of other things, but I'm not actually going to tell anybody what they are. If you must know, you can come to me privately, but I don't want to put it out there in public because we want it to be a surprise for the fifth graders. And the yearbook, we have decided, since we had this major windfall last week, that we are going to hire a photographer to come take pictures of all the fifth graders so that we have a picture of everybody without a mask on, that we can put in the yearbook. And then the big push for ad sales is going to start next week, and that's where we stand.
Great.
Oh, and sorry, Mr. Price, one other non-fifth grade related thing. My neighbor accosted me and said, you must tell them that they have to do a better job salting. So I'm just putting that in there because I was told that I had to.
Okay, I'll make that with the salting.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Becky, and awesome work on the popcorn. That's amazing. That's great. Congratulations. So looking forward to the giant fifth grade blowout. That's great. Okay, so moving on, after school programs. So this is still on hold this year, just due to complexities around COVID and facility restrictions and things like that. With that said, I think we're all hopeful that we'll be able to bring this back next year. And as part of the list of positions, we'll need to get some additional help to bring this back. I know some of the folks that were working on it previously are still around and may be able to kind of hold our hands and help with getting it back up and running, but we will need help getting that going. So I'll make sure to make a note on the Google form for those interested in supporting getting the after school programs started back again.
But we're hiring Dea.
Right. Yes, and Dea, who was helping previously, is in the front office. So that will be great to have her help as well. But yeah, so fingers crossed that we're back next year on that. Okay, moving on, box tops and Amazon Smiles. I saw we posted an update for the Wednesday folder that went out today. So thanks for that, Mel. This is just
our box tops total is now up to 238.
238. Nice.
So we're inching up little by little, guys. Keep scanning those receipts. Annie's organic, whatever they make. Annie's products have like multiple box tops. So if your family likes Annie's, please purchase them and scan your receipts because that gets us double points.
Yes, and just a reminder, this is it seems like pennies, but it really adds up. It's real money. So please take the time to sign up and to scan the box tops and use the Amazon smiles.amazon.com. So with that, I think that gets us to our last slide, which is just any open questions before we wrap it up this evening.
My goodness, a few minutes early, but I just want to reiterate that being a part of the PTA has been really enriching as a parent to really get to collaborate with the school on events, activities, assemblies for the kids, just helping to enhance their St. Cloud experience. So I cannot say it enough. It's a great thing to be a part of the PTA. So definitely, if you're curious, please do reach out to get more information about what it's like to be a part of the PTA Executive Board. We have a lot of fun and we do great things. So
Yes.
That is my plug for the day.
Yes, I second that 100%. And also, you know, just because you show interest or you want to sign up for one of the positions in the future doesn't mean you're going to be thrown into the deep end to sink or swim. There's a wonderful network of people that will continue on with the PTA to help out. So, you know, there's a great network and great support system so that we can keep going and doing the best for the students. So with that, I don't think there were any other questions.
There was one more question. Do we know what the first day of school is going to be for September?
In September.
I'm pretty sure I just registered for kindergarten last week, and I'm pretty sure when they handed me the schedule, it's the Tuesday right after Labor Day. I think
Yeah.
it's like the 6th.
I also registered for kindergarten, and I think I took a picture of the form. 1 second. Probably won't find it.
You guys are now in the long haul of St. Cloud. We passed
Oh,
the
you have no
baton to
idea.
you.
We're here forever and ever and ever.
Melanie and I passed the baton to you guys.
This says my registration form says September 6th is the first day. That's that's what my form says. So.
All right,
Round 2 for you guys.
There we go.
Here we go. Yep. All right. I think that's it.
Excellent. So just keep an eye on your emails, on your Facebook for volunteer signups and information about all these great events that we have coming up. We definitely need your help and your enthusiasm.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great
Good
Thanks,
night.
everyone.
evening and a great rest of the week.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.